Hello, Cougars. It's Mrs. Williamson, and I'm here today to talk to you about community projects. So, we're going to start with lesson one. The reason you might be watching this video is you might have been absent from your advisory class and you missed the lesson, or maybe you just want to go over the lesson again. Maybe you missed something and you just want to kind of review the learning. So, you're going to need two things open. One is this video, and the second thing you're going to want open is your community project investigation journal. All right, so you're going to want to open your community projects journal. It should be linked in your Schoology advisory class. And you can see here that this is my community project journal for investigating lessons 1 through 6. I see a note over here on the side. It says this is the place I can take all my notes, and I can even use this journal in my final presentation. So the more time I take now using my journal, the more time I'm going to save later when I have to get ready for my presentation. Slide 2 is a table of contents. I see that this is lessons 1 through 6, and I can see the big idea of each of these lessons. So types of service learning, steps, IB learner profile, and so on. Slide 3, I can see here at the top the name of the lesson. So it says lesson 1, types of service learning. It's always going to tell me the lesson at the top, and then underneath it, I'm always going to see some directions. Then, if there's anything I need to do on the page, I'm allowed to click right on it and I can type right into the journal. And I'm not typing on anyone else's journal. This journal is just for me, so it's fine that I type on it. My teacher will be able to access what I type by looking on it at my journal on Schoology. Okay, so let's get started with the slideshow. We're always going to start with our mission. That's our big idea for the lesson, for the day. So let's take a look at our first one. Service projects give you an opportunity to use service learning as a way to make a difference or affect change in others. So a way to make a difference in someone else's life as a way to help somebody else. In each lesson, we are also going to highlight a learner profile trait. So the learner profile is a list of 10 attributes of things that we want to try to be so we can be independent learners. Today's trait is caring. So what is service learning? We're going to watch a video. And as you watch the video, you're going to pay attention to the different types of action. There's going to be 4 of them. You also have this list in your journal. So as you're watching the video, or maybe after you watch the video, you're going to take some notes in your journal about the different types of action.
There's no question about it. Giving feels good, and it makes you happy and strong. Physically strong. It's a fact. So if you want to be strong and happy, you learn to give. That, friends, is what we call philanthropy. When it comes to time, talent, or treasure, there are lots of different ways to give. And throughout history, philanthropists have changed the course of our communities, our country, and the world.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country.
I tried to have as little anger as possible. I tried to use it to help people who were suffering and many who were discouraged and did not have the courage to try to take a stand for themselves.
There is an indefinable, mysterious power that pervades everything. I feel it, though I do not see it.
When you help someone directly, you are giving face to face, person to person, or maybe person to animal. You do something to address a need. Cheer on racers at an event. Maybe you help paint a mural on an old worn-out building to make a neighborhood look better, clean up a park, or volunteer to read to animals. Giving can also be indirect. You might organize a drive to collect books, school supplies, or toys for children right in your hometown. Or put your amazing jumping skills to the test and get people to sponsor your jump-a-thon so you can fund a well in Haiti. In these cases, you may never see the people you help, but you know you made a difference. Advocacy means supporting a cause, and it's another way to give. If you want to help people be healthier, you might make posters showing healthy choices, or host a health fair at your school. You could hold a meeting to show people why exercise or participating in team sports is good. Maybe you think people in your school should be nicer, so you help create a movement and show others how they can pay an act of kindness forward. When you advocate, you use your voice to influence or get people to get on board with a movement. Another way to give your time is to do research about an issue or topic. Maybe you help take water samples from a lake and then share how good it is, or isn't, with your community to get them to act. You could survey your classmates about safety. If there is a safety need, propose an idea or program that can help. When you do research and share your findings, you become the teacher and help educate and bring issues to life in your community. As you can see, there are many ways to give, and every one of them is important. When you give, it's contagious, in a good way. The people you help and those who see you are inspired to give too. Giving your time, talent, or treasure while taking action for the common good is good for all.
Okay, so we finished the video and now we're going to head over to our journal to brainstorm one more example for each type of service learning. During the lessons, anytime I see this journal entry icon, it means that there's something for me to do in my journal. So I'm going to head on over. Okay, let's take a look at the activity for lesson 1. All right, so I'm in my journal and I see here the activity for lesson 1. It says, below are the different types of service learning, along with definitions and examples. With your group or by yourself, you need to add at least one more example of each type of service. So I see 3 columns. There's the type, direct, indirect, advocacy, research, the definition, and then examples. Now the examples shown were in the video. If you need to re-watch the video, now is a great time. Just rewind this video a little bit and re-watch it and see if you can come up with another example of direct service, indirect service, advocacy, and research. So let me give you an example for direct. So if I'm going to help someone face-to-face, I need to really make sure, especially during times of with COVID, I need to make sure that I'm being safe. So I'm going to ask if you're going to provide direct service that that person live in your house. So for example, think of someone in your family that might need help right now. So I have small children at home. I have a first grader. She's learning to read. It would be great if I had a 7th or 8th grader that could help her practice her reading every day, so that not only are they helping the kid, but they're also helping the parent, right? They're lightening the load for mom or dad having to do that work, but they're also helping the little sister learn to read. So maybe it's tutor, little sister in reading. And I think the way that you do that is you find out information. Maybe even email the little brother or sister's teacher and ask how you can help, what books they recommend. Again, direct service, somebody that lives at your house. All right, the next one is indirect. You never see the person you help, but you know that you made a difference. So maybe could you help someone out virtually, right? Maybe could you donate money? Could you donate goods somewhere? Or could you do something like for one of your teachers to show that they're important to you? And you're not really going to see that person, right, face to face, but you indirectly know that you made a difference. So maybe you send thank you notes to all your teachers. And so on. So here, I want you to come up with ideas for advocacy and research, and then you are finished with this activity for lesson 1. Okay, so I think I get it. There's different types of service learning, and I'm going to have to pick the type that's right for me. But what about COVID restrictions? I can't go out and volunteer right now. I know in the past I've heard that 8th graders go out and volunteer or do things for other people. That's a good point. This year, we're eliminating direct service. The only exception is if someone lives in your house. So the example I gave in the activity of like helping a little brother or sister, helping a parent, helping a grandparent, someone that lives at your house, Those are the only people you are allowed to provide direct service to this year. Don't forget, there's still 3 other types of research you can do. Don't forget, there are still 3 other types of service you can do: indirect, advocacy, and research. So we're going to take some time choosing what's right for you. Tomorrow, we're going to learn about the steps of service learning, and you're going to start to get a better idea of which one appeals to you. So in your journal, you're going to make a note about which type of service appeals to you the most and which type of service you feel that you could realistically accomplish this year. Don't forget, whenever there's a journal entry icon, we're going to head over to the journal. So here I am, still lesson 1. Now I'm on slide 4. It says, now that you have learned about the different types of service learning, you should think about what type might be right for you. So which type of service appeals to you? Direct, indirect, advocacy, or research? And why? If you need a review of the types, just click on slide 3. Then, which type of service do you think you could achieve during distance learning? Remember, direct service is not allowed unless you're helping someone who lives in your house. So if you are going to say that direct service really appeals to you, you like the idea of helping someone else, but that's not a type you can realistically do this year, then you might need to change your mind about what type of service you do. All right, so go ahead and fill out these 2 and then head on back to the lesson. So go ahead and fill out these 2 answers, and then we will head back over to the lesson. All right, so we're always going to wrap up our lessons with the one big thing for today. So the one big thing I learned, well, there's 4 types of service learning, and I have to pick the right type for me and my project. We also always end with questions. If you're in class, you're able to ask the questions directly to your advisory teacher. If for whatever reason you still have questions, I'm going to give you 2 options. 1, reach out to your advisory teacher. Or 2, find me on Schoology. You can find me in the grade level groups. My name is Mrs. Williamson, and I'm here to help and happy to help. Good luck, guys, and I'll see you in lesson 2.